Hello YouTube, this is Wendy from Language-Enthusiast. Am I too close to the camera? Okay, today I don't have any appointment, so I'm not going to wear my makeup, and so let me do this, okay, without my makeup. Okay, I'm trying to hide my face as much as possible so that it's presentable enough even with my no makeup. Okay, well, today is August 1st, right? Yeah, today is Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Time now is probably 9:15 or so. Okay, all of my clocks in this living room are 15-minute fast because I tend to put things off. So if the clocks are all fast, then I don't think I will be late. So that's my idea. Okay, where was I? What I'm gonna talk about today? First thing in the morning, I made one video in which I was talking about my babies. Not the actual babies, but my plants. Okay, 2 sweet potatoes and 2 Japanese basils that I saved. Okay, so I really hope that you watch it. It was my spontaneous idea, so I haven't prepared anything about what I was going to talk about. So my English might be a bit messy, but I'd be glad if you love it. Okay. It's already really hot outside, and the temperature now is probably nearly close to 30 degrees already, I guess. My daughter said the other day that when she watched some old videos from 1970s in Japan, okay, it was Japan around the 1970s, and she said that the temperature back then in summer was below 30 degrees, like 25, 26 degrees. Was it that cool? Was it that low? I don't remember, but I'm living in the same place where I was living when I was a kid. I was born and raised in this region, in this city, in this town, okay, the same town, okay. I moved to this house about 10 years ago. My father rebuilt his old house where I was born and raised in. Is it okay? And he decided to rebuild it so that he could live with me, and we were living together about, 7 years or so, and he passed away back in 2020, I guess, January. Okay, ever since then, my daughter already moved here, so ever since then I've been living in my daughter in this house. Okay, but this house is a 3-story house. Okay, and there are too many rooms for us too, and most of the rooms are used for our storage. So there are many things are in those rooms, and basically I only live in this living room. I always stay in this room. I do everything in this room, like eating meals, watching videos, reading books, putting on my makeup, and anything else, playing with my dogs. the main reason for me to stay in this living room all day long is that I should be with my dogs. But the problem of this space is that there's no door. Okay, it's pretty spacey, but there's no door, meaning it's open space. Anyone can get in anytime they want. There's only one person living in this house besides me, who is my daughter, but still it makes me feel insecure from time to time. Like last night when I was in bed, I couldn't fall asleep as early as I wanted just because my daughter, who is always in the third floor, I'm in the second floor always, okay, and who is in the third floor often comes down to the stairs to go to the bathroom on the first floor. Anyway, we have 2 bathrooms in this house, but one is for my daughter and the other is for myself, okay? And we were using the same bathroom on the second floor together. My daughter and I were using the same bathroom, okay, for many years. And at the time, my father was still alive, and he was staying in his room on the first floor. When you get older is very difficult to pronounce, right? Older. Okay. The difference between older and order is very confusing, right? Okay, for us Japanese, I think. Okay, anyway. He used to use the bathroom on the first floor. Okay, so that's why we used the bathroom on the second floor, 2 of us, okay? But after he passed away, and one time I was sick, I was a little bit sick, and then she decided to use the first floor bathroom, and so now we use the bathroom separately, okay? But since her bathroom is on the first floor and her room is on the third floor, so she frequently has to come down to the first floor and goes up to back to her room. And during the night, even though she was really silent, okay, she tries to go down the stairs silently as she can, even though when I'm awake in my bed, it can be a bit distracting to me. I'm a person who gets easily distracted, and once I start noticing this sound, it makes me awake even more, because I'm like another noise will come, or is it going to be a bit noisy again or something like that, okay? And it happened to me last night, and I couldn't fall asleep for about 2 hours, okay? But when I wanted to make the most of my time, even though I can't sleep, I listened to some of my favorite YouTube Spanish language learning channels, okay? I mean videos, okay? And I explained this channel yesterday. I love to listen to their voices. I thought that there are some voice actors in just one video, and they speak both Spanish and English perfectly, and they sound really nice and very cool, and so I love them. I love their Spanish and English, okay? And so while I was lying on my bed. I was listening to them speaking both English and Spanish, and I tend to think that their voices are from real people, real voice actors. Humans do their jobs for their Spanish sentences and English translations, but I happened to find this application introduced on Facebook yesterday. I should have stored it, okay, so that I could watch it again, but I didn't store it anyway. So now I can't go back to the page of the app, unfortunately, okay. But it was about translation. It was a translation app, okay, and several languages. I mean, the app is for several languages like English, Spanish, French, German, etc. Okay, and all those languages sound the same. I mean, the voice. Okay, even though the person whose voice is used for the app speaks. The sound of the person's voice, whether the person is speaking in English or the person is speaking in German or French, whatever, the voice sounded the same. The voice sounded the same. Okay, meaning that it could be possible for those voice actors in my favorite videos from my favorite learning Spanish channels. One of the channels, okay, particularly this channel uses some voice actors who speak both English and Spanish fluently, right? And it motivates me so much because I'm a person who wants to be trilingual at least. I want to be able to speak both Spanish and English, right? And those voice actors speak both languages fluently, beautifully, so it entices me so much. So that's the biggest reason that I love that channel, okay? Any other channels use this system, like I can hear narration in other videos, but none of all those videos use voice actors or who can speak both languages. I never watch my Spanish learning videos in Japanese. I have never done that before, okay, because now I can really improve my English, right? Then why not I learn Spanish in my English? It's more convenient, and in this way I can make the most of my opportunity, right? So that's why I try to learn Spanish in English, and it's also helpful for my English improvement. So, and especially Spanish and English have a lot in common. So when you learn Spanish through English, it's much easier than learning Spanish in Japanese, for example, in my case, okay? But none of other channels use the same voice actors for both English and Spanish. So the channel is very unique for that reason, okay? But yesterday I happened to find this application that can be for you to use for translation, and no matter which language you choose, the voice sound same. Okay, and this actually made me wonder if the voice actors are AI, not instead of the real humans. So this made me actually skeptical about what they are doing in their videos. Well, because I was already skeptical about all those voice actors. I just began to wonder if all those voice actors were really humans, because sometimes impossible things happen when I watch all those videos. Okay, something like the voice actors sometimes make mistakes. Sometimes they pronounce words incorrectly, like they pronounce in Spanish words like English words, like the Spanish word poder. It means can, okay? But when it is spelled like P-O-D-E-R. And we pronounce this word poder in Spanish, but when you read it as an English word, you would sound like powder, right? And at narrator started reading some sentences at the beginning, and I was just listening to the narrator. I was paying attention to the narrator, and he pronounced this word like powder, and it made me confused because I didn't understand what verb he was talking about. The narrator was talking about. So I was like, what did he say, or something like that. And I always listen to their videos while doing something else, like while I'm cooking, or when I'm doing dishes, or when I'm doing some house chores. Okay, so but I pay attention to what they are saying, so I didn't miss. I just caught what he thought, what he said. Okay, and because I didn't know the word powder, okay, and I had to give myself a little bit of time to realize what the word is all about. And I finally understood that, is it poder? Okay, and then I understand that the narrator read the word wrong, but the next time he had to pronounce the same word, he actually pronounced it right, like poder. Okay, even though the narrator only speaks English, okay, in that video, because what his job is to give viewers instructions in English, so he doesn't have to speak any Spanish in the video, but sometimes he has to. There are some places in which he has to pronounce some very important Spanish words, like in this case poder, okay, because the whole video is about this word, okay, the conjugation of this word. So but other places he was okay, he was able to pronounce this word perfectly, so it made me confused even more. What was happening, I don't know. Okay, and but now I understand, and I began to think that actually they might be using AI instead of voice actors. Okay, at one point, I began to began to think this way. And yesterday, I thought that I finally got the answer of their mystery, why they sometimes pronounce some words incorrectly, even though they really have to pronounce their words 100% correctly, right? So this makes me wonder if they're really professional. I'm not sure, but as far as I listen to their videos, okay, other things are okay. I don't care much about the other things. Their stories are very interesting, and how they do their stories are very fun to listen to. And so I'm quite happy that I was able to get to know them, okay? So most of the time I just listen to their videos while doing something else, or sometimes I watch the videos so that I understand what they say 100% by looking at the texts, lines, all those sentences myself. Okay, this is my favorite channel, and there are several ways of them presenting their videos. Like one video uses this particular way of presenting their lecture, okay, and there's another video in which they do something a bit different, and there's another video they do even more different things in the video, okay. And so there are some particular videos that I love, I guess, about them, okay. Okay, the battery is almost out, so I have to charge it. Okay, I always forget about this, but if I forget about this, the video stops, right? Okay, but I don't want to show myself clearly today. Okay, anyway, where was I? Yeah, it's very important for us to know what's coming, okay, when we listen to. Otherwise, we just vaguely listen to the material, right? In this case, what they do is very useful. Like they use their video like listening practice, okay? Not only tell, I don't know how to do this correct. It's very difficult to explain using this one, okay? Not only they, the same, right? There are stories, right? But before that, they ask a question to us so that we can pay attention to what the story is all about, okay? Like a question, something like, so what is she going to do from now, or something like that. And then the story starts, and I can listen to the story very carefully because I have to look for the information about what she's going to do next, okay? And this way I can pay more attention to it more effectively. But without this kind of question beforehand, I just tend to listen to it vaguely without any special attention to it. So I don't think it's very effective. And I always tend to assume that I'm listening to something, but actually I don't pay as much attention to it as I think. Okay, so, and this is something that my favorite YouTuber Connor, about whom I always talk in my videos, uses or use the other day in his video. It's a story, pretty long story, and of his experience. Okay, and he was talking about this, and it happened to him when he was in China, just after he started working in China as an English instructor there. Okay, he was living in a condo. Okay, the the I mean 14th floor, and the 14th floor is the highest floor. Okay, and there was smoke coming out and coming in to his dome. Okay, there were only two people, him and other instructor. Okay, American guy. And when he was sleeping, his door of his room was banged. Okay, furiously, telling him that there was a fire, and it made him astonished, and he jumped out of his bed. Okay, jumped out of his bed, and he didn't understand what was happening, but there was dark and black smoke everywhere. Okay, so he thought that there was a fire. Okay, but it was the top floor, right? And the other guy went up to the top floor. I mean, I don't know how to say this, but it's a garden. It was a garden. Okay, it was a garden, and there's a garden above his space where he lived. Okay, and in order to escape from the dangerous situation, he and the other guy, they had to jump to the next building. Okay, but it was a very high place, so he was scared to death. Okay, it made him scared to death, and he was talking about this experience, and in the end, it was not as scary as he thought it would be. Like, okay, it was actually not a fire. Okay, it was on this very old electric appliance that caught a little bit of fire or something, and smoke, all those smoke were actually coming from this electric appliances placed outside the garden or somewhere. Okay, I don't remember correctly, but okay. And this story is pretty long. Okay, like longer than 15 minutes or so. And before he started telling this story, he gave us a question, this one question, like on what floor was his room. Okay, is it, my English is okay? Okay, and no, he didn't give us any question beforehand, but he told us that he would give us a question after the story, so we would have to pay attention to this whole story. Okay, before I started listening to the story, I didn't know what the question would be, so I really had to concentrate on the whole story. It was a pretty long story, but I had to keep my attention. Okay, it was really hard because from time to time I tend to think about some other things. My mind wanders. Is it okay? My mind wanders. So I have to be really I have to really concentrate on the story, the whole story, the entire time. It was really hard. Okay. And okay, anyway, he was okay. It was not life or death. Okay. But they had to do something really scary so that he and the other guy could be safe. Okay. And okay, story ends. So without this question, I wouldn't have paid this much attention to the story, the whole story. So this shows that usually I don't pay as much attention to all those listening materials as I think I am. So I learned a lot from this experience. Okay. So I'll get back to my story. I love this channel because they have different styles of their instruction videos, and one of them is that one in which they give a question firsthand. They are divided into their videos are, in this case, okay, that video is divided into multiple sections, and each section starts with a question. Okay, so that as listening to the story, coming up story, I can look for the keyword. Okay, and this actually the story is only read in Spanish, no translation or whatsoever. So I can concentrate on this story only read in Spanish. It's good for my listening comprehension. Okay, and then there's the answer. Okay, afterwards, and then I can listen to the whole story again with the translation in between. In this case, I can understand the whole story 100%. All right, and moves it to, they move into the next section, the story 2, and it happens so quickly, rhythmical. Okay, with rhythm, so it makes us very motivated. Okay, they are really professional in this regard, I think, except for the sometimes wrong pronunciation here and there. Okay, but I find that this channel is very useful and effective. So I have two of my favorite channels in terms of my Spanish learning at the moment, and I can listen to their videos for free, and I'm grateful for that. Okay, so there aren't many things that I want to talk about today, but I can come up with anything to talk about while I'm speaking like this, right? Because it's practice, and I really have to manage to get out of my comfort zone, or get out of some difficult moments, or so that I won't sound awkward. Everything is good for my practice. So even though I think beforehand that I don't have anything to talk about, I just start speaking anyway, and it helps me to come up with any kind of ideas so that I can keep talking like this. Maybe what most of the things that I'm talking about is insignificant, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I know that there are some occasions, some places in which I have to speak or I have to talk about something significant, okay, important. But when it comes to make myself get used to speaking English, all I need to do is just to speak up as much as possible. So if what I'm saying might sound a bit boring to other people, it doesn't matter, because in order to make my English my second nature, I really have to speak anyway. So like native kids, like when I was a kid, I used to speak a lot of Japanese, even though I might have sounded sometimes totally nonsense or meaningful, not meaningful. I just wanted to speak in Japanese. And when you're kids, you don't care much about what you talk about, right? You just enjoy talking, right? You just enjoy saying something fun, right? So, and while you are doing something like this, you can improve your speaking abilities, right? And so I really hope that the same thing is happening to me, like while I'm speaking in English, and I can say whatever I want without feeling stressed out, because this way is the only way that makes me fluent in the language in a real sense. I mean, when you want to be a fluent speaker, all you have to do is to speak anyway, right? So in this case, what I'm doing is on the right track, I guess. And anything is okay. Anything is okay. And so that's why I decided to talk about my babies, which are my sweet potatoes and my Japanese basils. I'm growing in my little garden on my balcony. Okay. It was my spontaneous idea, just as I told you a while ago in the beginning of this video. And but that was actually what I really wanted to do for such a long time. Like when I'm doing something like house chores, cooking, or anything, I always want to explain it in English, and I can do it by speaking to myself. I always do this, but I just wondered what it would be like if I would do this so that the people could listen to me explaining things, okay? I'm not really sure if there are many people who would like to listen to me explaining what I'm doing in English. I don't care, okay? I don't know, and I don't care either, because this is for my practice. So, but I was just thinking about it, but I didn't even try to do anything to make it happen. But today, at last, I made it happen, and actually, I didn't believe myself doing that. All right. I thought that I would start doing something like that even after buying this camera, very little one, which is pretty expensive, and so that I can place the camera around here, like with my hairband or my cap or something, okay, on my cap or on my hairband, okay. it's very light, and it's pretty expensive, like 50,000 yen. So I'm still haven't decided if I will get one. Okay, I could do the same thing with my iPhone, like I have my iPhone on my left hand, and I do something on my right hand. Okay, but it's a bit troublesome, right? Because my entire left hand is occupied with having this holding my iPhone, and iPhone is pretty heavy, I think, and without the cover it's lighter, but in this case it's more dangerous, right? I always worried about what if I break my iPhone or something like that, because iPhone itself is pretty expensive, so I don't want to get it broken. Okay, so in this case, me having this camera, small one, light one, on my collar or on my hairband, on my cap, wherever, okay, this would be easier for me to do and more convenient for me to do. So that's what I was thinking about, but I haven't done anything to make this happen yet, but I might if I feel like doing it more. Okay, sometimes you have to take actions to make it happen. You are the ones who do it yourself, right? But sometimes I just let the ideas sleep for a while, and then the more time I let it sleep, and then the more I feel like doing it, and finally I can make it happen. Okay, this is something that has happened to me very often. So this is how I believe. Okay, and talking about the compost, I was talking about the compost. I use two quite a big bucket, or those used to be two trash cans, not cans, but basket. Okay, trash basket. Okay, trash basket or trash, but I don't know. Yeah, bucket, right? Bucket. Just the container. It's huge, like 50 liters. You can put 50 liters of water inside it. It means that it's 50-liter size of container, right? And I used to use them as trash container, trash can, or whatever. But since I have many of them, so I decided to use them as my compost. Okay, and I put soil that I was using in the past, old soil, into those containers. Okay, and each time I cook, there are some vegetable leftovers, right? And usually I used to discard them in the trash can, okay, or garbage can, right? And I took them out every Tuesdays and Fridays when garbage trucks, or only one truck come, right? Trash garbage truck comes, okay. So, but now we have less garbage to take out because I keep all those vegetables, leftovers, and whatever, except for some things like bones. Bones won't discarded, okay. Dissolved. Bones won't be dissolved very easily. So that's why we cannot put bones into the compost, okay? But other things like vegetables, leftovers, and also we can't put something salty because salt is bad for soil. That's what I hear, okay? I'm not an expert, but that's what I hear. So, but other things like organic things like vegetables and any other things, fruits, okay, leftovers or skins or whatever, um, I I put all those things into a plastic bag and I put it in the fridge so that they won't go bad. Okay, they won't get mold. Mold is okay. That's what I hear. Okay, even white mold, blue mold. I don't know how to explain it in English, but okay. Anyway, even food that went a little bit bad is okay. So I put all those things which I used to throw away before into this plastic bag and I place it in my refrigerator, okay, for about a week or so. And there are two containers, and one is, and I use them one by one, okay? If I put all those garbage into this container, one of the container today, okay, for example, I put all those garbage into the soil and I mixed it and I put some soil on it, okay, and I added this powder which is made of microorganism, okay, it helps dissolve all those things, all those garbage much earlier and much in this time, much more quickly, much more efficiently, because all those microorganisms actually eat all those garbages, okay? So for a week or so, most of the garbage, the shape, the form, okay, most of the things are gone, like they become like salt, no, not salt, but soil, okay, soil. So you cannot distinguish where all those garbage have gone, okay? And now the soil is ready to be used for planters or plants, okay? And while I let all those things sleep for a week or so, the next time when I put all those garbage into the compost, I use the other container, okay? And I use them interchangeably one by one. So this is the most economical way for you to grow whatever, like vegetables or flowers, whatever, because this way you can use the same soil over and over again, because the soil itself stays healthy with all those microorganisms, okay? And when the soil is healthy, your plants or flowers won't get sick very easily because the soil is very strong and healthy. Bad bacteria are killed by good bacteria inside the soil. So it's very strong, okay? The good bacteria are so strong. And maybe you can add some water you use to wash a dish. I mean, we eat lots of natto in Japan, okay, every day, and the natto has a very good bacteria in it. So, and when you wash the dish that you put natto in, after eating natto, you wash this dish, right? And you can keep the water with some natto bacteria in it, and then you can use the bacteria water to water your plants, or even you can put this water with some natto bacteria in the compost. And because natto bacteria is really good, and it's very I don't know, smart, okay, and I don't know which adjective or adverbs, no, adjective I should use, but it's excellent in many ways. It's good for our health, it's good for our bowel, okay, it can help our bowel stay healthy, and it's super duper great, okay. So you can use this water. Very weak one is okay. You don't have to put the actual natto in it. No, you don't have to. You can just use the washing water, okay. You can use the water that you used to wash the dish that you had put in the natto, okay. And little bit of natto bacteria is okay to make your plants or flowers grow healthy. So that's what I learned just recently, and I found gardening fascinating. But I used to be a bad gardener, and whatever plant or flower I tried to grow, I couldn't. I I was never be successful. Okay. I was never successful. But this year, something extraordinary was happening to me. Like, I had this plant, okay, I put inside the house, and it's been about 2 or 3 years already, but it didn't seem to be growing a bit. Nothing, okay, nothing happened to this plant, okay. It looked as if it were sleeping all the time, all the seasons. And this plant is actually one of all those plants that I made withered, okay. Other plants I put inside the house, they all died, okay. But this was the only one that was left, and there was only leaf left, okay. And it didn't like as if it didn't look like as if it were alive. So I just wondered if I should discard it or not, okay. But I didn't throw it away, of course, because it's a living thing. So it's really cruel for me to do such a thing, right? So I just stay there. I just let it stay there for such a long time. And this year, I started to water more often. Until then, I totally assumed that we shouldn't water such plants that we put in our house not frequently. By watering them very frequently will kill them. That's what I heard before, but I just try to water them more frequently, and then what happened? It started growing and growing, and it started coming out more and more leaves. So at that time, I just knew that I should have watered more often, okay. And now it's flourishing, okay. It has so many leaves on it, and so ever since then, I used to be a bad gardener, but I began to be more interested in gardening. But I also knew that I shouldn't do a lot, because I'm a kind of person who tend to do too much when I get interested in something, like when I start to have kittens, okay, stray cats, we have at one time as many as 7 kittens, because I really wanted to save more and more stray cats. So every time I heard someone saying that there was a stray cat in the park next door in my neighborhood, and then I rushed to the place to save the kitten. Okay, and this is what happened to me the year 2017. But I started having interest in dogs. Okay, not kittens but puppies, which were left unsold in those pet shops. Okay, and I really wanted to sell them, and at one time I had as many as 6 dogs, right? So now I only have 2 though. Okay, those 4 went to different dog owners who are loving. Okay, so I really hope that I believe that what I was doing turned out to be something good for them. Okay, because they ended up for others ended up being kept by a very affectionate dog owners. Okay, so once I start being interested in something, I tend to do too much. Okay, I tend to, in this case, for example, I tend to buy lots of flower seeds or flower buds or something like that, and so that I could grow them in my garden. I really wanted to grow some vegetables, and I started watching lots of YouTube videos regarding gardening about 3 months ago or so. I was totally hooked, but hooked. But I decided not to be too enthusiastic about gardening, because my first priority is taking care of my dogs and improving my language skills, right? So after all, I can't afford to take care of my lots of plants and flowers at the moment, right? So that is why 5 of them are the only ones that I'm now growing, and I think that's enough. So I won't have even more. I don't think that I would have even more plants and vegetables this year, but next year I really want to. I hope to grow more vegetables like cucumbers and eggplants and tomatoes, because those 3 are most frequently be used for cooking in my house. And my father, who passed away back in 2020, used to grow some vegetables in our small garden. Okay, and during the summer we didn't have to buy such vegetables like eggplants, cucumbers, and small tomatoes, and he even tried to grow a cabbage, but he wasn't successful, unfortunately, though. But it was really helpful, and it was really refreshing to eat such a fresh fruits, not fruits but vegetables, just harvested right away, right? And so, and it's really economical. It's good for your budget. Okay, so I really want to grow more vegetables next year, and until then I have to learn how to grow vegetables. But I'm a kind of person who gets easily confused with lots of information. So and I'm also a person who really wants to be creative. So whenever I do, I tend to do my own way, which is not always good. Okay, so my doing my creative way sometimes turns out to be disastrous. And so, but when it comes to something like living things like plants and animals, I really have to be considerate, and I really have to be, I don't know what to say, I have to think a lot about them, right? Before doing something, before doing my own way. Okay, that's what I learned day by day, or that's what I have been learning day by day. Okay, anyway, how long? Yeah, 1 hour, right? I always talk too much, but it's good to practice. And I know that I made lots of mistakes while I'm talking about many things in this video, on right? But I don't care, because without making mistakes, you can't speak, right? You cannot always speak everything correctly. So kids don't care about mistakes, right? Then we should do the same if we want to be fluent speakers, right? Confident speakers. And I think that day by day I've been feeling more and more comfortable with my speaking. I really hope so, and I really want to continue doing this. And I'm thinking of my Spanish speaking practice on this channel very near future, in the very near future, because now is the time for me to speak up when it comes to Spanish also. So that's why. Okay, anyway, I'm getting really hungry, and I meant to take some power nap, but I started this practice anyway, so I might go back to sleep to get enough sleep, because I didn't have enough sleep, just as I explained. I might have explained this in this video some time ago, right? I couldn't sleep 2 hours because of the noise that was happening, right? And which made me a bit distracted. And so, but somewhere between 10 p.m., 11 p.m., I probably fell asleep. And I woke up at 4 as usual, and today it was still dark when I started walking, meaning that the sunrise, the time of the sunrise, is getting late and later and later, right? And I checked it, and the sunrise, it was 5:12 or something. Okay, and it was way before, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So in the morning it's getting darker and darker, so I don't have to wake up that early now. I should wake up a little later. Yeah, maybe, but it's really refreshing to start walking even it's still slightly dark outside, and there was almost no people, but there are always some people walking or jogging or something, okay? And some dog owners are very early risers, and they really love walking their dogs first thing in the morning, especially in summer, because it's really hot outside during the day. Is even in the evening still it's so hot. So they love to walk their dogs very early in the morning. And so, but when it comes to my dogs, they love walking as other dogs do, and I'm really happy to make them happy by walking them, and this is my responsibility. And my daughters can't walk my dogs because she's allergic to dogs and even cats, animals, okay? So I'm the only one who can take care of my dogs. So that's the reason why I can't take a long distance travel now. But I'm thinking of doing a home stay sometime in the future, okay? And but I'm the only one who can take care of my dogs. So I was just thinking about looking for any good place that allows me to take part in a homestay program with my dogs. Is there anyone in Japan? And especially, I want to do this homestay, English homestay, okay? In Japan, I think that there are some English speaking people who can afford to let us stay. Okay, of course I pay, okay? I pay, but let us, me and my dogs, stay in their place, and they speak English, and I can speak English, and I can practice English, and I can also stay in Japan. I don't have to go overseas. It's best, yeah, I know it's best if I go there directly, because I can experience their life firsthand, right? It's the best. But it's very difficult for me to go overseas because of many reasons. One of them is about my dogs, right? And another reason is that my health, right? I have to go to my hospital every 6 months to have my blood test and also a CT test, right? And so I can't travel for a long time. And so if I can have a English homestay program or something in Japan, it's the best. And if I could take my dogs with me, it's even more better. It's much better. I'm not really sure if there is any places that would allow me to do that, but I still have some hope, okay? And if the person is a YouTuber, it's the best because he can make a video about his or her student, me, okay? And I can make my YouTube videos. Okay, I have to go now. So I'll be back tomorrow too. Bye.